Okay, we're getting close. We're getting near. We're about to hit off the Python tutorials. But first, you need to know how to install PyCharm, because that is the integrated development environment in which we will be using. Okay, so here I am, live again, and for most people they'll get the recording. But what we're about to do is show you where to download the integrated development environment that we're going to require for scripting in Python. Later on, a more advanced tutorial, we're not actually going to be using an IDE, but instead we'll be interpreting through C++. But for now, this is what we're going to be doing, so let's get her done. So if you look over here at the presentation, just a little overview, downloading PyCharm, installing PyCharm, and opening up PyCharm. The rest of it will be done in the Hello World tutorial. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to JetBrains.com. I'm going to do it right now. So if you look over here, I opened up my favorite web browser. This one is Brave, typed on in www.jetbrains.com, and that brought me to the home page. You can also Google it if you're so inclined to. In order to download it, you first have to find it. So in the navigation bar, there will be Tools. Under Tools, you'll have PyCharm. So that's what we're going to do right now. Tools, going to scroll on down to PyCharm. Going to click there. That'll bring you to the PyCharm page, which has a Download Now button. Let me just center that off for you. Just ignore that. So back to presentation. There you go. Download button. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to click the Download Now button. Once we're there, we're going to get a couple options. If you're a Mac user, you can download it for Mac. If you're a Windows user, download it for Windows. If you're a Linux user, you can download it for Linux. You can also get the professional version, which has a few extra features that are not included in the community one. We should not need the professional features though, because most of the stuff we're going to be doing is going to be written from scratch. We will call on a couple libraries, but they are standard. And if they aren't, I'll show you how to install them so you don't actually have to use the professional version of PyCharm. So I'm going to go to the Doing Work slide. There we go. And as you can see, I'm doing it right now. Once we're here, select your options and click Download. And there you go. You'll save it. I'm going to save it to the desktop just for ease. You're going to wait a couple minutes and it'll download. So for that, I'll just go to the presentation while it's downloading. Same thing. Oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So move back on over to the download. The download is complete. Now, if you want some of those resources that PyCharm offers you or JetBrains offers you, go ahead, enter your email address and click agree and subscribe. They'll send you some pretty good resources and offers. Not really my thing, so I am not going to do it. Okay, so now we have the executable downloaded. All you got to do is double click on it and click Run. Back to the presentation. So yeah, you're just going to click Next, select an install directory, figure out which launcher you want to use. Most people will be on a 64-bit system. Some will be on a 32-bit system. Pick whatever you want. One thing you do want to do, associate all files with it just for ease, as well as download the Java runtime environment that they offer. It will come in handy. Same thing, just click a bunch of next, wait a bit. So I'm actually going to do that myself. I've already got it associated with the professional version, so I'm not actually going to do that. I've already downloaded and installed the runtime environment, but why not? Let's do it again. Might get a new version. So it's doing its thing right now. We can go back to the presentation. Yep, wait for a bit. After we've waited, you're just going to select Run if it hasn't already, and click Finish. It didn't take this long the first time I did it. I must have accidentally uninstalled something. Okay, here we go. We are now at the Run portion. So I'm just going to click Run. And we're going to get hit with a bunch of options. Let's see if I can shrink this down. Okay, so it actually skipped a couple steps for me because I had just installed it. So we're going to go through the PowerPoint. Yeah, hey, it's done. Yes, we want to run it and finish. So I've already accepted the privacy policy. I said no to data sharing. Okay, we go over here. The interface I like using is Dracula because it's darker, easier on your eyes, especially whenever you're doing those mad coding sessions and you're just so into it you don't realize you've got bloodshot eyes and they're starting to bleed. That's because the bright screen really affects your eyesight. There are glasses you can wear for it. I don't like doing it because half the time I'm writing code, the other half of the time I'm doing graphic design. So like kind of messes with my eyes a little bit. So I just use a dark interface, solves the problem for me. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to actually install Markdown, Bash support, and R language support. Just useful plugins. I have them installed. If you want to be the same as me during the tutorials, you should probably install them too. There you go. Now it's time to create a new project. Since I already created a new project, I can't exactly show you, but I will be showing you in the next video because I already included it. There you go. You select a location. Well, bam, you're going to get hit with tips. Now, for a new user, you should probably have them on. I took them off because I've gone through all the tips several times already. And in conclusion, we went over downloading PyCharm, installing PyCharm, and opening PyCharm. Now, it is not your only solution for writing Python. You can write it in Notepad. You can use Vim. Literally, you can use anything you want to use. Unless it's not for Python, then obviously you can't. But who knows? You could probably write it in a C++ IDE, save it as a .cpp, and then just change it afterwards. Might work. I've never done it. I might try it. So there you go. Your tutorial's done. You're now ready to dive on into Python. It's a pretty exciting time. And why didn't I go to the talking scene? Oh well. Okay, so I'm going to close out of here now. If it'll let me.